Greetings, motorcycle enthusiasts. Today we will show you how to disassemble the carburetor from a Suzuki R6 motorcycle. You might think, hey, wait a minute, they're already disassembled. But I did that to make the whole assembly easier to handle for demonstration purposes. And then I will continue with this last one to show you how it's done, and then all you need to do is repeat the process. For everyone else, we'll start in a moment, but first, let me show you which tools you'll need. You will need a small impact wedge, several flat screwdrivers of different sizes, a Phillips screwdriver number 2, and a small flashlight also wouldn't hurt. Along with a 7 combination wrench and 8 millimeters. Check the video description after you finish watching the clip to get more information about that specific carburetor. Here's one more thing people often ask. Does karting make money from this? Well, not enough to get rich and live like Paris Hilton, but we do earn a little when you buy rebuild kits and other parts using our links. And that allows us to continue making these small videos and maybe grow a bit. And not to brag or boast, but these are top-notch companies selling high-quality products, not some junk made in dubious workshops. So use the links, help us keep all this going so we can all maintain these great engines for many more years. All right, let's get to work. We'll start with the choke lever, which is this elongated part here that moves back and forth and attaches to this slider here. And to detach it, we'll need to remove these small plastic clips. The car was going fast. Let me show you how to do it with the other one. We'll move on to this one here. Place your finger on the back of the clip and then pull these small hooks to release it. And just pull it out. Now the slider is attached to the choke lever here. And by gently lifting, you can remove it from the slider actuator, like this. And there you go. Sometimes you need to move it a bit, to loosen it. Now we just lift it up and now I'll show you how to remove the choke, starting with the piston here, which is a bit harder to reach. You will need 2 flat screwdrivers. With one of them, you will press the mush purpose here at the back, and with the other, you can simply pull out the choke piston like this. Here's what I did. I'll lay it here so you can see it better. I pressed the small hook inward and lifted it a bit, which released the other small hook. If you do it carefully, you won't need to press both hooks. Just press and lift slightly and use the 2 screwdrivers at the front to pull it out. Do this with all 4 carburetors. Now we will remove the top cover under which the diaphragm is located. We will use a Phillips screwdriver to unscrew these 2 screws. If the screw head is broken or worn out, use the link above and watch the video on how to solve that problem. I will keep my thumb pressed on the cover while unscrewing because there is a spring under tension beneath it. Now I will carefully remove the top cover, and this is how it looks underneath. Pull out the spring and set aside the top cover. Here is a small pin. Carefully remove it and thoroughly replace it with the one from the carburetor repair kit, along with any other parts you need to replace as necessary, which you can also obtain via the link below. It's best to get something of quality and not skimp after all the effort you've put in. Now loosen the diaphragm and be careful not to damage it because sometimes it sticks a little. And just go ahead, pull out the throttle slide. As you can see, there is a jet needle inside the slide itself. When I turn it upside down, everything will fall out. Now you can also see the order in which it is assembled. You have a steel washer, a plastic extension, and a safety lock. and a plastic ring on which the spring is placed when you assemble everything back correctly. This can be seen in this video, and the link for it should appear at the top right now. Alright, we have finished with the top part, and now we will continue with the float at the bottom of the carburetor. It is secured with these two screws here and here. Make sure to use the appropriate tools. More information about the appropriate tools can be found at the link above. Set the like aside and remove the float, and this is how it looks underneath. And we will start by removing the float, which we can do using the impact pin mentioned earlier. The float moves as it is secured with a float needle. Insert it from the right side, which means it can be pushed out from the left side. Can you see it? It should come out easily. I will tilt it slightly and then carefully pull out the float. And attached to the float is the float valve with a small tab. I'll just place it here and set it aside. And now we are already here at the plastic part for fuel intake. And you need to be careful here. This small plastic part is held in place by a crosshead screw, so it won't slip out of place. And now I will unscrew the screw. This small part can be freed with a slight movement, and it sits on a small O-ring. And at the end, it has a small filter, and we will set it aside now as we continue with the nozzles. And here we are at the nozzles. This is the main nozzle. It will hold the nozzles. This is the nozzle that does not restrict the fuel flow for the choke. And there is always a recessed nozzle for idle. We will start with the main nozzle, and for that, you will need an 8mm wrench. It has 3mm AI. As you can see, the nozzle is screwed into this hexagonal nozzle holder. I will hold the nozzle holder firmly and loosen the nozzle inside just a little like this. And now I will encourage the nozzle holder. Why am I not expecting the main nozzle? Well, here's a little tip. It's so you don't mix up the two nozzles when you remove them, because they look almost identical. That's why it's better to leave them inside while you continue with the carburetor. Now I can remove the nozzle holder. This is what it looks like. And now you can also remove the nozzles. I'll leave it here so we can take a better look. It's so easy to remove, and now you can see that there should be an O-ring attached at the top. This is one of the parts that needs to be replaced, and the old one was hard as a rock. And it has already been replaced with a new one. And now we will continue with the idle nozzle located in this small recess here. Make sure to use a screwdriver that fits perfectly here, because if you use one that's too small, you can easily damage it, since it is made of brass. Just press lightly and it should unscrew easily. Now I will just let it slide out. And this is how it looks. You can see that these two cannot be swapped with each other because the thread is completely different. And last but not least, I will harden the nozzle, which is for the choke, so that the engine can start when it's cold. It's right here on the top. And now all three are here ready for thorough cleaning. And now we will proceed with a 7mm wrench. We will loosen this small screw here. We will completely unscrew it and pull it out along with this extension. And the small washer, I'll put it down here. Excuse the mess at the moment. This is the screw extension and washer. Once that's removed, you can remove this entire block, the assembly holding the nozzles, by pulling upwards from the nozzle like this. Then we will also set it aside here. Here we can see the nozzle, and I'm holding it like this. And now I'll turn it so you can see how it's attached to the plastic holder. I'll go into it like this and push it through the top. Can you see that? And that's also something that needs to be cleaned separately. And now we will remove the idle mixture screw or pilot screw. We need to get into this recess to unscrew it. I will continue unscrewing it until I can grab it. Ouch. And here we were lucky because the spring, along with the small washer and O-ring, are still intact. We can simply pull them out to see the order in which they should go. They usually stay in the recess, and to remove them, you can simply use a paper clip, bent into a hook, and pull those three parts out of the recess. After you have removed the Barkai pilot screw. With this, we have reached the end of our little video on how to disassemble a carburetor. And every carburetor must be disassembled in the same way. Once everything is disassembled, it goes into an ultrasonic bath. After that, use a carburetor rebuild kit to replace all the parts that need replacing. Do not reuse old O-rings or float needles. You can order a rebuild kit from us via the link below, or just make sure to get a quality one when refurbishing your carburetor. Feel free to leave a comment, or if you have any questions, feel free to ask, and we will do our best to answer you. It's not rocket science, so grab your tools and have fun.